Redskins live virtual draft experience presented by 7-Eleven. Larry Michael, Fred Smoot, and the coach of the Washington Redskins, Ron Rivera, just talked to the Redskins' #1 pick, Chase Young. Coach, you must be pleased and excited. Coach, can you hear me?
They said they will cue you in. Don't.
Coach cannot hear us at this time. Fred is with me. We just gave you an update on Chase Young. In fact, we just talked to Chase Young moments ago, waiting for the coach to hook us up. He is in his home right now. And a little bit later in this hour, we're going to hear from the Redskins' first-round pick, Chase Young. We can hear the coach, but the coach cannot hear us yet. And Fred, I know you're excited.
I am.
You've been in the broadcast business a long time.
Yes.
And we are playing without a net here. There is no net.
Hey, I'm just excited. I can't stop smiling right now. At the end of the day, I'm happy with the draft pick. I know it was no suspense to it, but I'm happy with the draft pick, and I think it's going to be something that changed this organization moving forward. You know, you got to go get winners.
You know what? We're going to pause. We'll be right back with the coach of the Redskins, Ron Rivera. Don't go away. All right, welcome to the Redskins virtual draft experience presented by 7-Eleven. I'm Larry Michael with Fred Smoot, and with us is the head coach of the Washington Redskins, Ron Rivera. Coach, you got your man. How do you feel?
Feel really good about it, Larry. You know, this is a young man that we've been watching for quite some time. We had an opportunity to visit with him at the combine and really like what we heard. You know, we really did a lot of good football. He played the last couple of years, probably about as good as anybody I've seen. And he's a guy that can come in and impact our football team, not just the position, not just the defense, but our football team.
And you know, Coach, we just talked to him. He is ecstatic. He seems like such a down-to-earth individual. After all the accolades and the great college career, this kid's a very smart, sharp young man.
Yes, he really does come across very well, and a lot of that has to do with his upbringing. You know, his father was in law enforcement, and so he stayed in line, and he's one of those guys that really gets it. He understands what it takes to be at the top of his game. So again, that's the type of young man we're getting. That's the type of young man we want to bring to our program and have them involved in what we do.
Fred Smoot is with me. He's got a question for you.
Yeah, Coach. Now first pick out the way, does it give you a chance and the staff a chance to try to maneuver a way back into the second round?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're never quite sure how you can get back in there, but if there is an opportunity, we're most certainly trying to figure it out. I would love to be able to do that just because of the quality of this draft. We really feel there's a lot of deep positions, and you can get a good player early on in the first few rounds. So, we'll see what happens.
Coach, what does the addition of Chase Young mean to that defensive front? You're going to the 4-3. You've got some really strong defensive linemen as it is. You got 5 first-round picks on that defensive front now.
Well, we saw the success San Francisco had last year with that type of a front. That type of front helps the rest of the team. It helps the linebackers, helps the secondary. And again, one of the things that we want to make sure we do is we play fast. We want to add speed to what we're doing. We thought we did that in free agency on both sides of the ball, and we're looking to do that in the draft. Is add this type of speed.
Fred?
Yes, Coach. And with everything going on with the corona and nothing being concrete in the schedule, when do you think you'll have your first chance to get your hands on these new draft picks?
Nobody knows. I wish I knew that. But again, we'll go through the steps with the way it's been mapped out for us. We just finished our first full week of virtual coaching. We've got 2 more weeks of virtual coaching, and then we have our veteran voluntary mini camp through virtual coaching. And then after that, we get a little bit of a break. And then by May 18th, everybody wants to take a breath and kind of see where the situations are. And who knows, hopefully maybe sometime after that, we'll get an opportunity to do some workouts. And if not, I've been through this before. In 2011, when I was a head coach with the Panthers, we didn't get to meet our football team until the day we started training camp. So we'll have to wait and see, but hopefully soon, hopefully in the next few weeks or hopefully the next month at some time.
Coach, you told me earlier that you took a couple phone calls and really nothing materialized, and now you're looking ahead to the second and third round. Did anything really come to your attention during these calls, or are you pretty much solid with your decision and you weren't going to move off it?
We were very solid on our decision. It had to be something that really would have been very, very enticing. And the thing about it too is, we were at number 2, and a few of the teams that we talked to are in the second half of the first round, and you're not going to get the type of player that we're talking about right now. That's the thing that you really can't do. If you move that far back, your top guys aren't going to be there. And quite honestly, we had 5 guys I think we really had pegged that would be worthy of trying to stay in that area. After that, we just felt that they're really good players, are going to be good players for a long time, but they're not the kind of guys that could really be impact different makers.
Are you engaged any differently the rest of the first and through the second, since you don't have a second, all the way to the third? Is your engagement in the draft any differently, or are you just going to bear down and watch the rest of the draft and reevaluate in the morning?
No, we have to watch it and see how it starts to unfold, and who knows, something might be out there, but we've got to watch it, we've got to follow it, because again, if nothing happens for us in the second, we got to look at the third, because we've got the second pick in the third round. So it's a very valuable pick. We've got to pay attention as to what's happening and who's available.
Of course, Coach, a lot of people say we probably didn't need to add another DN to the team. I think it was a best player available type of pick. Now finishing out and rounding out the rest of the draft, would it be more of the same mode of the best player in the draft, or do you start to fulfill needs?
You really do stay with the board, and it's typically set up so that it is about the best player. During free agency, one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to add quality depth where guys are starting to emerge as players, and bring them and put them on our team and give them an opportunity to compete. So we filled a lot of those initial needs. Now we're looking for a guy, in the third round, you're still looking for a guy that can still come in and be a contributor, be an impact player, a guy that you're going to win with, and you're going to win because he's on the field. So that's what we're looking for in the third round.
No technical glitches, Coach?
So far, so good. This was probably the hardest to get off.
Hey, Coach, have a good rest of the first round. We thank you so much for giving us the time today and the days leading up to the draft, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Right on, guys. I appreciate it. I'm really excited about what we just did, though.
Great pick, Coach. Great pick, Coach.
Redskins got a lot better tonight. Thank you to Ron Rivera, head coach of the Redskins. And don't forget, coming up in about 15, 20 minutes, you will hear from Chase Young right here on the Redskins Virtual Draft Experience, brought to you by 7-Eleven. Tune in for that later.